What's up, guys? This is Brent with Western Equipment, and today I am out at our Western Equipment dealership in Amarillo, Texas, and I'm going to be telling you all about this John Deere X570. Let's start by talking about the model number, as these oftentimes can get confusing because there are so many different models within the John Deere mower lineup. So what we're looking at today is the X570. Now, the first part of the model number that you'll see is the X. This is going to indicate that this is in the X series. So within the tractor style mowers, you will have the S series, which is going to contain the 100 and the 200 series. And then once we move up into the X models of mowers, you're going to have the X300s, the X500s, and the X700s. So the X500s is going to kind of be that mid and upper level tractor style lawnmower. And within the X500 series, we're going to have four different models: the 570, the 580, the 584, and the 590. So the 570 is going to be the smallest in the X500 series, but the X500 series is going to be a step up from the X300, 2 steps up from the S200, and 3 steps up from the S100 series. So we're getting up, like I said, into that higher residential mower. Next, we're going to have the 7 here. This is kind of our model indicator. This is going to tell us a little bit about the functions and features and the size of the engine that we're going to see on this mower. And our last number here is going to indicate that this is a 2-wheel steer. So in the X500 series, much like the X300 series, if we have a 0 here at the end, it will be a 2-wheel steer, and if we have a 4 at the end, it'll be a 4-wheel steer. Now we'll go ahead and get underneath the hood and start talking about our engine and the service points underneath here. First thing that we're going to see is a 24 horsepower Kawasaki engine. Now right here on the air filter cover, you're going to see that this shows to be a 24 horsepower labeled John Deere. But if we look over here on the side of the engine, you will see the Kawasaki sticker here showing you that model of engine and the serial number to this engine, so you can rest assured that it is a Kawasaki engine. Now, when we're talking about service points, we'll start over here on the left-hand side of the mower, starting here with our oil dipstick. This is going to be our oil fill and dipstick right here. Next, we're going to have our oil filter right down below. And then below it, we're going to have our toolless oil drain here. This can simply be twisted off by hand, so making changing that oil a very easy process. Now, if we move around here to the front of the engine, you're going to see a spark plug on either side, one over here on the left and one over here on the right. Now, this is a V-twin engine, so you will have those 2 spark plugs. Just don't forget, when we're changing one, we've got to change the other. And then right on top here, we talked about our air filter. This is going to be our air filter right on top. It has these 2 twist screws here that are going to be very easy to just undo, take this cover off, then we have easy access to that filter. Now over here on the right hand side, we are going to have our fuel pump. This is a part that oftentimes when we have fuel issues, this can be a really easy fix, to just change out this fuel pump and go on about your day. Then back behind the engine, we're actually going to have our fuel filter and then also our battery. Now, while we're talking about service points on the engine, one thing you need to keep in mind is that, like a lot of other mowers, we do have that service interval chart right here underneath the hood. So make sure and keep in mind that when we need to know when we need to do those different services, you have that chart right here on deck with you at all times. Now, moving to the rear of the mower, first thing I want to talk about will be underneath the seat here. This is where we're oftentimes going to find our operator manual whenever we first get these mowers, but we're also going to have our deck leveling tool and our deck leveling gauge. And then we're also going to have these adjustable springs here that we can move either further back, leave them in the middle, or push them further forward, depending on the type of ride that we're trying to get out of this mower. And we're also going to have this seat switch here that this can cause problems. If this is disconnected, your mower may not start. So we want to make sure and be checking that, making sure that that is in place. And then next, we'll go ahead and talk about our fuel opening here. We're going to have a large 3-inch opening over here on the left-hand side that is going to have that tethered lid, so you will not lose that lid whenever you're refueling. And whenever you are filling up, you're going to have plenty of fuel capacity at 4.4 gallons. So what we usually see is about a gallon an hour use-wise on these mowers, so you have plenty of capacity there to get the mowing done that you need. Now, at the rear here, some other things we'll point out is we do have on the X500 series, the larger rear tires, which is going to add to that ride comfortability, also add more power to the ground, more traction to the ground to go along with your K72 tough torque transaxle. So you're going to have that larger transaxle, which is going to add more speed to these mowers, more power, along with the 24 by 12 by 12 tires here to add just to the overall strength and power of this mower. Now, if we look right back here at the rear, you are going to have your transaxle engage and disengage lever. So whenever it's pushed in, we're engaged. When we pull this out, we're disengaged. And what this means is whenever we disengage this transaxle, we're able to push this mower as long as our parking brake isn't engaged, in case we get in those situations where we're stuck or the mower happens to die out on us or we have a mechanical issue, we are able to push this mower if needed. And then you're also going to have just this heavy frame here at the back that you're also going to see carry all the way through the front of the mower. And that heavy welded frame all the way through underneath this mower that's going to be a step up and larger than the X300 series. So back here, we're also going to have the different notches and holes and slots and things for tie downs and also for attachments. We are going to have our rear hitch. And then last but not least, we are going to have the hydraulic reservoir on top that is going to service that K72 tough torque transaxle. And it will have a very easy to read fill line here that you can check to make sure that this fluid is full or if we need to add it. Now, another thing about the K72 is it is going to be a serviceable transaxle, so you do have that filter that you can change out. You can change the fluid. That is a big one for a lot of people, is being able to service these transaxles, which is understandable because we want to make sure that these are functioning well to add to the life of that mower. So you do have that here. And then also, last but not least, we do have the nice reflectors here on the rear. So if you're happening to move this mower up and down streets, things like that, you do have these reflectors to add to that visibility of your mower. So before I get in the operator station, I want to talk about a few of the features that make the X500 series another step up from the X300 in the operator station and just the overall looks. So we already talked about the rear reflectors. Along with that, you're also going to get these grab handles on either side, which are just going to be a comfort feature for if you get in those hilly situations or uneven terrain. You have a little bit extra something to hold on to here. You're going to have a lot more styling here on the hood with these extra hood vents to add to that air circulation. You are going to have also a larger fender deck and body to accommodate those larger tires and to go along with that larger frame. And then we're also going to have this orange pedal right down here, which is something that the X300 series, like I said, does not have. That is going to be a differential lock. So how that works is if we get in those muddy or sticky situations where we need both of our rear tires working at the same time, we can push down on that pedal, lock those rear differentials in to where those back two wheels are working at the same time, because without that locked in, much like a vehicle, really only one of your rear tires is doing the driving. So if we lock that in, then we have both of those rear wheels working together to help us get out of those sticky situations. Now, the seat here is going to be a 15-inch high back seat here. It is going to be an open back to allow for a little airflow. You're also going to have that open back to allow that drain, and the seat is going to flip up, so you can make sure to dump that water out, debris, whatever may be on there before we sit down. So then once we hop up here in the operator station, a lot of the things, if you've seen anything about an X300, is going to look about the same. We're just on a little bigger mower, but we'll start over here on the left-hand side. First thing we're going to see is this pedal here. This is going to be our deck raise and lower pedal. So right now, the deck is sitting down and it's unlocked because our lever is down here. It's sitting down at 3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and raise that up by pushing in on my pedal. And then to lock that deck into transport mode, I'm going to raise up here on this lever, and that locks it in the up position. Now, if I want to change the height of the mower deck, right down here between my legs, I have a dial that goes from 1 inch all the way up to 4 inches in 1/4 inch increments. So to change that, I'm going to push in on the pedal, spin that dial to the desired height. I'm going to put it on 2 inches here. Then I'm going to unlock with this lever, let that deck down, and now I'm sitting at the 2 inch mark. So I'll go ahead and raise that back up, lock it in, and we're back into transport mode. Now, like I said, we do have the differential lock right down here, which I just explained previously. Now, when we move up onto the dash here, we are going to have our throttle lever along with our spring assisted choke here. So you'll notice that whenever I push that up and let go, it does go back down into the off, so you cannot leave this mower in choke. That's a nice feature, just to make sure that we're not running that in choke once we get the mower started. Then we can adjust our throttle lever here Down below that is going to be a yellow button that is not indicated here on the panel what this is, but this is going to be our RIO button, which is our rear implement option button. Basically, this is a safety switch that we have to push whenever we have our blades engaged if we want to keep them engaged while going in reverse. Then once we get in that rear descent, we can let off, and then the mower will continue to mow in reverse. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick here by starting up the mower. I'm going to put my throttle about midway, turn on the choke, make sure my parking brake is set, start up the mower. We'll raise our blade speed up a little bit here, drop our parking brake, raise that up some more, turn on our blades. So now the blades are engaged and I'm going to go forward. And if I try to go in reverse, you'll notice right there that it turned the blades off. So to keep those engaged, I have to turn them back off, pull the knob up to turn them on, go forward, and then now if I want to go in reverse, I have to hold down the button, start going in reverse, and then I can let off and those blades will stay engaged. I'll go ahead and rev this mower all the way up so you can hear it at full rev. That's going to be at your highest engine speed. This is going to be ideal for cutting. If I pull this back down, we can go all the way down, and this is going to be our idle speed here. So right next to that RIO button, like I demonstrated before, is going to be our mower lift lever. This is what we're going to use if we want to lower the mower down. We'll push it in. If we want to lock it into place, we'll raise this up. Then as we move over to the right, we do have our key switch here with a stop position, lights position, run position, and our start position all the way over here to the right. If we want those lights on after we've got the mower going, we just kick that switch back to the lights position, and then our front lights will be on. Right below that, we have our PTO lever, our PTO knob. This is going to be an electronic knob that we just pull up to engage those blades, push in to disengage them, and then right below that, we're going to have a cruise control button. Now, this is going to be just like on your cars. Once we get this mower up to the speed we want to go, if we're making those long passes or those round circles that are going to be continuous, we can hit this cruise control button and it'll stay in that speed the whole time. And right below that is going to be our parking brake lever, and right now it is in the down position. So if I wanted to lock our parking brake, I would simply push on this pedal that's over here to my right, and then raise up on that lever. That would lock the parking brake in. And then to let it loose, I would push down on the pedal again, push down on my lever, and that will release the parking brake. Now all the way over here to the right, underneath my brake pedal, I do have the twin touch pedal system. So we have a forward pedal and a reverse pedal. Very easy to operate this mower once you have it running. We just hit the forward or reverse to go in that direction, and that'll correspond with the speed that we have our mower set at here on the throttle. And then all the way over here to my right next to my grab handle that I talked about, I do have a cup holder, and I also have a covered storage unit here that can be used for your keys, your cell phone, your wallet, whatever those things are that you need to keep on board and keep covered up. Now if we look right up here, we do have a nice electronic display panel. Some things that you're going to see on it are going to be your RPM gauge over here to the left. Once we have the RPMs up high enough with our throttle, you'll be in the green section here. This is going to be where we want to do our cutting at. Then we're going to have our fuel gauge here in the middle. And if we engage our parking brake, you'll see a parking symbol right there. And then we'll have our battery meter over here to the right and our hour meter in the bottom right corner. And then right above that, nothing's lit up right now, but this is going to be our warning display panel. So if we have any issues at all with the mower while we're mowing or driving it, you'll have lights flash up right here, knowing that you need to stop and check something out. Now, right down in between my feet here is going to be our deck height adjustment. So I showed that a little bit just a minute ago, but like I said, if you want to change this height, all you have to do is push in on your pedal. Then you can rotate this anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. Pick that height, and then you're able to set the mower deck down. You're also going to have a big set of instructions and warning labels here right around that. So if you have any questions about the different things on your mower here, you need to reference that. It is right here at the floor, easy for you to see at all times. And then right underneath my seat here is going to be a silver lever. This is going to be my seat adjustment. So it does have a seat slide with multiple different positions here in between, so we can fit multiple different riders, just to add to the comfortability and functionality of this mower. Now the mower deck, the thing that everybody wants to know about. What we have on this 570 is a 48-inch XL deep. Now you can also get a 54-inch XL deep as well. So you have those two options, the 48 or the 54, depending on what you need for your operation. They are going to be the XL deep, which means they are a little bit deeper than some other models that you'll see out there. The edge decks that you'll see on the S100s, they are going to be deeper than those. And this 48 is going to be made out of a solid piece of stamped 10 gauge steel. So what you get out of that, some of the benefits of having that stamped deck, is that you are going to have no welded corners on the inside, which means a lot less chance for buildup of debris, buildup of grass, water, moisture that is going to cause rust and other types of damage. And you're also going to have increased airflow on a stamped deck that's going to allow for that material to move in and out of the deck a lot easier than it would if it had those welded corners. Now, some features here on the outside of the deck. For one, you are going to have your washout port. Now, yes, you are going to use water here, and to use this, you're going to set this deck down on a concrete or asphalt surface, put your garden hose on, turn it on, then turn your blades on, let that water churn with those blades underneath, cleaning that out. And then once you're done, you would disconnect your water hose, keep those blades on, allow that air to sort of dry the underneath. That way we're not having those rust buildups or any other damage underneath with that material. Now we're also going to have the flip up spindle covers here, very nice, so we can lift those up very easily to blow that material out from underneath. And that's a very key part here, and it tells you right on top of the spindle covers to use air, not water, and that is just going to add to the life of your deck. The less water we can put on top of these decks, the less chance for rust and other things to build up. So just make sure that we're breaking out that air hose or that leaf blower and cleaning off the top of these decks. And it's also going to give you a grease gun emblem with an arrow here that's going to show you where your grease zerks are. So on this deck, you will have a grease zerk for each spindle. With a 48-inch deck or a 54 and on up, you're going to have 3 spindles and 3 blades, which means you have 3 grease zerks here on the deck. You're also going to have these adjustable anti-scalping wheels on all 4 corners. Nice thing about these is they are adjustable up and down, but whenever you're going to take this deck off, they can also be turned here to the side, and that's going to allow you to take this deck on and off a lot easier by being able to rotate those. Then also here on the outside, we are going to have this little bit of extra weld mount on the side here to add to your edging side. So if we're getting up against those curbs or other surfaces, you do have this extra protection. And then in the front, we're going to have a set of anti-scalping wheels as well, anti-scalping rollers. So if we're going over those hills or mounds or things like that, those wheels will catch before the front of your deck does, helping to eliminate a lot of that digging or dragging that you might have going on. And then over on our right hand side, of course, we're going to have the 2 anti-scalping wheels along with this large discharge chute opening with the spring assisted flap here. So we want to make sure that this discharge chute, since it is on that spring assist, we want to make sure that that spring is working and that it's staying down, as this is a safety feature to keep material off of you and also to help push that material out and to the side and far away from the deck as it's supposed to. So last but not least, let's talk a little bit about dimensions and specs and warranty. So when we're talking about dimensions on this machine, first off, height-wise, at the tallest point, we're going to be 46 inches. Overall length, we're at 74.6. And then width with the 42-inch mower deck on it, we're going to be at 62.6 with the discharge chute down. If we raise that discharge chute up, we can shrink that up to 52.6. That way you know how wide you are depending on what gates you need to get through and shops and other buildings that you may be storing this mower. Now, as far as weight goes, we're going to be right at 750 pounds with a towing capacity of 800 pounds here at the rear. Now, speed is also a big one that we get asked about a lot. So we're going to have a forward speed of 7.2 mile an hour and a reverse speed of 5.2 mile an hour. And then warranty, we're looking at a 4-year 500-hour warranty. So that's whichever comes first. That warranty is going to be bumper to bumper, excluding your main wear and tear items such as belts, blades, tires, things like that. But overall, just a great machine, a good heavy-duty upper residential option that's going to be able to have attachments to go along with it. That extra towing capacity here at the rear and that extra frame strength really just adds to the build of this mower and just the overall functionality of this mower as well. So guys, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're looking for any John Deere parts at all, make sure to go check us out at 247parts.com. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to check out this cool video and this one. Buy your parts right up here and subscribe right here.